path we tread, breaking through where no one.
Welcome back to the myNEXT Startup Edge podcast. I'm your host, Dirk Lammertz, founder of myNEXT, where we help visionary founders and forward-thinking companies turn bold innovation into real-world results. Today is episode 13. Now, I know what you're thinking. 13? Isn't that the unlucky number? Well, exactly, and that's where we begin. Because you can't predict luck, but you can design it. That is what I call strategic serendipity. Keep listening to find out how strategic serendipity can help you in your startup, in your business within a larger organization, in your own wealth journey, and in your personal life.
Every question a door to unlock.
Superstition, strategy, and startups. There's a strange tension in the startup world. On one end, we glorify the grind. We analyze markets, define strategies, build roadmaps. Success, we are told, is all about flawless execution. Make the right plan, hire the right team, work the right system. On the other end, pure luck. I was in the right place at the right time. We pivoted just before the market shifted. We launched the week before our biggest competitor folded. So which is it? Is startup success about meticulous planning, or is it about getting lucky? I'd argue it's neither, or more precisely, it's not just either one.
Every problem a puzzle to stop.
The flaws in both extremes. Let's start with a strategy-first mindset. It sounds comforting, right? Control what you can control, build a strong plan and execute it flawlessly. But here's the reality. The world isn't a spreadsheet. Markets are messy, customers behave unpredictably, competitors don't sit still. A strategy that looked brilliant in a pitch deck can get blown up by a shift in regulation, a supply chain crisis, or, say, a pandemic. So over-relying on strategy creates the illusion of certainty, and that illusion is dangerous. Then there's the luck-only crowd. People who treat entrepreneurship like buying a lottery ticket. Try something. If it doesn't work, throw it away and try something else. Eventually something will stick, right? The problem is that the odds are brutal. Luck alone is a terrible business model. You might stumble into success once, but you can't build on luck. You can't repeat it. And investors don't fund lottery tickets.
Stakes are high, but so is the thrill.
Introducing strategic serendipity. So, what's the alternative? I call it strategic serendipity. It's a hybrid mindset, one that embraces the power of preparation and the unpredictability of the real world. Here's how it works. First, build a strong strategic foundation. Know your market. Understand the problem you're solving. Define your core value prop. Build a lean, focused product. Tighten your go-to-market plan. Second, execute relentlessly. Ship, learn, iterate. Talk to users. Fix what's broken. Double down on what's working. Third, deliberately place multiple small bets. This is where serendipity comes in. Not random flailing, but intentional experiments. Test different positioning angles. Explore an adjacent use case. Reach out to an unexpected partner. Launch a limited feature in a surprising vertical. These are low-risk, high-upside optionality plays. They don't distract from your core. They create surface area for luck to land on. And when it does, you're not scrambling, you're ready. You've got the foundation to scale what works. And when one or more of your deliberate bets hit home, then you have the strategic foundation to get it right. From product market fit to pricing strategy, market entry and customer retention. Everything that does require a solid strategy to maximize its potential. And you've built the ability to execute, to scale your opportunity, to not procrastinate for fear of starting or strive for meaningless perfection for fear of finishing, to adapt to sudden challenges, and so on. Everything that allows you to implement the best version of it. Now, how should you pursue strategic serendipity? In parallel, not sequentially. This is extremely important because passage of time is the worst, often deadly enemy of any new business, especially for a startup. This is easier said than done, and I myself have fallen into this trap myself multiple times in the past. We are being taught and we internalize that we must focus and avoid distractions from our goal at all cost. And that is not a wrong concept in itself. It simply depends on how we define focus. Distractions in the sense of extraneous or random activities in the sense of shiny object syndrome are bad. Pursuing multiple bets in a strategic and coordinated way, that is what creates optionality. You just need to keep the distinction in mind and then find the right balance for yourself, for your team, for the business you're building. The balance between having only one shot on goal on one end and being spread too thin on the other hand. Real-world echoes. You see this in the stories behind some of the most iconic companies. Slack started as an internal tool for a gaming company that was failing. They pivoted, but only because they had the executional foundation to recognize and act on what they had. Airbnb tried multiple launches, went through Y Combinator, sold novelty cereal to stay alive, but they kept learning, adapting, experimenting. Even Google didn't begin with ads. AdWords came later, a strategically serendipitous response to user behavior and monetization pressure. These weren't just accidents. They were optionality plays backed by execution. Why episode 13 matters. So yes, this is episode 13, the so-called unlucky number. But here's the lesson I want to leave you with. Luck isn't something you sit around waiting for. It's something you invite by showing up prepared, staying curious, and creating space for the unexpected by creating strategic serendipity. Strategic serendipity means you're not following a path to nowhere just because you wrote the strategic outline and business plan a year ago. And you're also not betting the farm on randomness, but instead, you're creating conditions where randomness can reward you. It's not about superstition, it's about creating optionality and leverage in a noisy world. Thanks for listening to the myNEXT Startup Edge podcast. If this episode got you thinking differently about risk, strategy, and startup success, I'd love it if you shared it with a founder or investor in your network. Until next time, I'm Dirk Lammertz. Stay bold, stay smart, and make room for strategic serendipity.
In the shadows, ideas ignite. A spark of brilliance cuts through the night. Chasing dreams, the edge of the unknown. Building futures, foundations of stone. Start a pledge, the power